Hello everybody, welcome back to the Homestead.
Today Kip is going to share a bit of the health journey that he's been on this year with y'all. But first, yesterday we were incredibly blessed by a viewer, a friend, who probably wants to remain anonymous.
Yeah, I think so.
But this person blessed us with cement. Now I know that you guys who live in the city may be going, what? Cement? I'm always trying to get away from the cement, out into nature.
Right?
But here in the jungle of Missouri, it's a little different.
Every pad is like an oasis.
Yes.
An oasis away from the weeds.
Yes. Our weeds get to be like 10 feet tall if they're not managed, and there's a lot of them and a lot of places to manage. So little by little we are putting cement strategically in walking spaces and spaces where we don't want the weeds to take over.
Yeah, places where we have to maintenance the weeds like crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, we were blessed with a nice big pad for Caleb's future blacksmith shop. So that's exciting. It's going to be really fun to see him set that up. Also another pad for a milking barn.
That's right.
Which means we're going to get to milk our cow as often as we want. Right now the stanchion is outside and in the weather, so when it's raining and storming we don't get any milk. But this milking pad will have a cover and be sheltered. It'll be great.
What was just super cool about what she just said is she's speaking hope right there. She's speaking something to an existence that doesn't exist.
Right.
Because we don't even have the material for the milking barn.
Yes.
We don't have the finances right now for the material for the milking barn, so.
But we have the pad.
That's
so.
right.
Right. Also got another walkway in the back of our house, which is just a huge blessing. Now we can get from the back door straight out into the side garden, and we'll be hopefully putting some more pathways back there as well.
That's right. That's right. It's only a little bit of pathways, sidewalks to finish off back there.
Yeah.
And then we're done with the cement behind the house right there.
Yep.
That's going to be wonderful.
Yeah. So yesterday was a big step forward. We're really thankful and blessed by what we got done yesterday. Alright, so on to Kip's health journey. Most of you who watch our channel know that we're pretty health conscious, and we have been on a journey, all of us as a family, for years now. But the beginning of this year, a real shift happened with Kip.
Yeah, well hey, I'm going to come right out the gate with the big news. I've lost 30 to 35 pounds in about 3 months.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about that is losing weight was not at all my motivation for the changes I made. Sounds crazy, huh? So let me share with you my journey. What happened? And what is happening, because I'm still doing it.
Yeah. This is some changes that have happened that are for life. It's not like some fad or some diet that you
That's
just
right.
do for a little bit and then you're done, and then you just put all the weight back on, or all the ill health comes back. This is a lifestyle.
That's right.
Life change.
When you make certain changes, they have to be lifestyle changes where you stick with that change.
Mm-hmm. So where did your journey start? What was the big shift for you?
Yeah, what motivated me to really start digging in and just like shedding anything that I didn't feel like that the Father wanted me to have, I just shed it. Was I just wasn't feeling healthy inside. I felt sluggish, like my innards felt sluggish. All my body processes were just feeling sluggish, kinda. And I'm thinking, man, we're eating organic. We're so health conscious. You know, we got rid of sugar
years and years ago.
15 years ago. You know, basically just mainly we were at that time using raw organic honey or raw honey as our sweetener. And then Carrie would use like some stevia, some other alternative sweeteners. But for me, I didn't like stevia or any of the alternative sweeteners there. So for me, it was just the raw honey. So already we made all these huge decisions, but I was feeling sluggish. So I said, well, okay, then what else do I need to change? Because I don't feel right. And one of the things was that at late night, I was having a snack. Because I'm more of a night owl, and so when I'm staying up late at night, I would have a snack at night. And that snack was basically a whole meal.
Yeah.
You know?
So he was basically having 4 meals a day.
Yeah, and I didn't realize it because I just thought I was having a little snack at night. But I didn't realize my portions. Right? That's a huge indicator of what has changed.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hey, sweetie. And so one of the very first things that I did was I said, okay, to the chips. Because who doesn't enjoy potato chips, right?
Right.
And so what I would do for my nighttime snack is I would put a portion of potato chips on there and then some beef jerky or something like that. And then, so I was trying to get carbs and protein, you know, no greens. Not for my nighttime snack. And so I said, okay, chips go. And then when the chips went, I said, well, let me try just a little bit of nuts and some seeds and some beef jerky. So I went with that. But I also made those portions reasonable.
Yeah, a lot smaller.
And Carrie's been involved in this whole process, by the way. I'm not just making my decisions willy-nilly. I'm always talking with Carrie about these things, asking her, hey, what do you think about this? What should I do about that? Blah, blah, blah. And so that was a big change. And what was weird is I had these really strong cravings. You know, cravings for chips, cravings for kombucha, you know, sugary kombucha, cravings for all these, for carbs, right? Okay, so as I was kind of getting rid of some things, I started being able to understand what was going on in my body better. These cravings that were happening, really strong cravings for carbs and for sugars and stuff like that. I'm going, what is going on? What was that first step I took, hon? When I was saying, hey, I've made all these changes, you know, and you said, have you checked your weight?
Right. Yeah, I noticed that he was losing weight, but I didn't really think much of it. And so one morning I said, have you checked your weight? He's like, no, I didn't even think of that. And
yeah, I'm not a scale guy. You know?
So that first time you weighed yourself, do you remember how much you had lost at that point?
I lost like 12, 15 pounds.
Right, so very significant.
Yeah, first time we checked and I said, whoa, okay.
And that was just from cutting out a portion of a meal.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. And then we were watching Dr. Berg, and Carrie will put a link there. What he was saying was resonating with me. I understood, you know, what he was saying and how it applied to me.
Chicken laid an egg, guys.
It's a very exciting event for the chicken.
Right.
He was really talking about intermittent fasting and healthy keto.
Right.
So intermittent fasting is a lifestyle change.
Right.
Healthy keto is a diet. I was like, well, okay, let's start trying this intermittent fasting thing because that's what I feel like I need to do. So I started doing that. What that means is you have a window that you eat in. So my window is noon, so 12 o'clock noon to 7 p.m. And during 12 noon to 7 p.m., that's when I can eat. That's when I can drink minor light drinks that do have carbs in them, but very light. And I only eat in that window. So no snacking outside of the window, no drinking drinks that aren't keto diet drinks, which water is pretty much it. No, just kidding. There's options.
Yeah.
So no eating outside of that window. That's intermittent fasting, defined by Dr. Berg. I don't know if someone else has a different definition of it. They're not,
Right.
but so that's what I started to do. Okay, so intermittent fasting, I'm gonna have Carrie share a little something about that.
We have a lot of birds on the homestead. Yeah, so intermittent fasting is something that really anybody can do. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. So if you can do nothing else for your health, please consider intermittent fasting. If you are pregnant or nursing, you do have to have a much larger eating window, but you can still do kind of a mild intermittent fasting even in that case. And the benefits are going to be so much greater than anything else that you can do for your health. So it really is something to look into.
Yeah. You don't have to buy special food for intermittent fasting.
No special supplements.
Yeah, nothing like that. It's just the timing of when you eat. That's the big deal. So when I made that switch, it was so interesting because it only took a week, maybe 2 weeks, where my body was changing dramatically, as in these cravings that I had, I could recognize those cravings and recognize them for what they were. Okay, so a really big deal for me was that when my stomach said, I'm hungry, my mind said, something's wrong, fix that problem. So if I felt hunger pains, something was wrong, I had to fix that problem, and the only way you fix that problem is you eat. And so that's the cycle that I was in. When I started intermittent fasting, I finally learned, my stomach would say, I'm hungry, and my mind would say, so? That's okay. And then that was all happening kind of subconsciously, but then I actually realized it. I was driving home from work one day and I realized my mind was telling my stomach, no, it's okay to be hungry. To be a little bit hungry, to have some hunger pains, that's okay. Something's not wrong. That's actually a healthy thing.
Right.
And so that was a huge mind shift for me, you know, to go from hungry, must eat, to hungry, that's okay. This is for health. Mm-hmm. Because I knew when I was going to have my meal. I knew I was going to eat enough to be okay, you know, and all that stuff. So taking captive these thoughts and putting them before Him, right? And then learning how to glorify Him with our bodies, with our thoughts. My main motivation for doing this is for strength and health. I want my strength to be able to work on this homestead, to be able to serve Him with all my might. I want to have my might so I can serve Him with all of my might. I want to finish well. This life is short. Too short. It's too short. I want to finish well, you know? So that's why I'm doing this, and I'm sticking with it. That's why I'm saying that I don't care what it is. I want to obey Him. That's it. I want to be in the place of submission to Him and obedience to Him. That's where I want to be found at all times.
That's where the freedom is.
That's where the freedom is.
Yeah, so now, are you having all those same cravings anymore?
Nope. Nope, those cravings have gone away. They would still come up at first for, well, I shouldn't just say at first, for weeks. But I could recognize them. Because before, I didn't even know I had any cravings. The cravings just kind of drew me, you know, just pulled me this direction and that direction. And I didn't even know it. That was an amazing revelation.
Right.
When I realized so many things were happening within me that were influencing me, and I didn't even know I had these influences that were not from Him.
Right. All right, love. So where are you at now, today, in this journey?
Yeah, today, I must say, I have been actually getting on the scale more often. Just out of curiosity.
Kind of fun, huh?
Well, just out of curiosity, really. Because there is a concern about losing too much weight too fast.
Right.
You need to be careful about that. So you need to take this diet and take these steps and go in increments. Move it relatively slow. Make a change and let that change be there for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is for you. And let your body adjust to that new change, and then make another change after you've adjusted. So take it kind of in increments. Take it slowly, step by step.
So what would that look like for intermittent fasting?
For intermittent fasting, specifically, right off the bat, it looks like how big your eating window is. So, for instance, my goal is 12 noon to 7. But what I really do is I finish before 7. So if I'm finishing at 6, that moves my eating window an hour. And if I wait to eat until 1, that moves my eating window another hour. Now I'm fasting for 2 extra hours. And why that matters is that as you're fasting, as you're not eating any food
Or
drinks, your body starts to change its mode of what it does with your fat, how it processes, well, your fat and your nutrients in your body.
Right, so the body, for most people, naturally burns glucose, and that's what you use for fuel and energy. When you do intermittent fasting and then keto, which he'll discuss in a little bit here.
I'll talk about keto next.
Your body switches over from burning glucose to burning what's called ketones from fat.
That's right.
And so that's how a lot of people actually lose weight, is they start losing the stored up fat.
You know, if you can get your eating window down to even like a 4-hour eating window, that's great, but you need to pay attention. You know, maybe you need more food.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can do with a little less. So you need to really pay attention to you. And make sure you invite somebody into this process if you're going to do it. So like Carrie, I would ask her all the time, gosh, these conversations we've been having, she has been on fire excited about me wanting to talk to her about nutrition and, you know, health, and
right.
She's just had a new life.
Yeah, he'll ask me questions now and I'll be like, I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah.
He's like, you didn't think of that?
Yeah, well, I've been learning. So that's intermittent fasting, and like I said, we're going to put a link to Dr. Berg's video on that.
Yeah,
It's
I'll put some
long.
links below. A very important resource that we've used is a keto calculator that's on his website, so I'll put a link for that as well, and it's great because it will show you exactly how many calories you need, how much fat, carb, proteins you should be having per day for the specific amount of weight that you would want to lose. So
Yeah. And okay, so she said keto again. So here we go.
all
Keto.
right, what's keto, love?
Keto, I mean, in essence, it's pretty simple. Because, you know, fats, proteins, carbs. That's really all it is. So if you had 3 bowls, you would have a certain amount of fats that you need every day in grams, a certain amount of protein that you need every day in grams, and a certain amount of carbs that you need every day in grams. For every person, depending on their height, their body build, all this kind of stuff, there's a certain amount of grams for every one of those 3 things that you need per day. And so you get those grams, and then for me, it's 2 meals a day is all I'm having now for, how long have I been on just 2 meals a day?
At least a month.
Okay.
Maybe longer.
And so I have to get all of that nutrition in just 2 meals.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that's the challenge, is actually getting the healthy fat is the biggest challenge.
Yeah, there's a lot of information about keto diet on the internet, but you really want to look at healthy keto. There's a big difference between the keto that you'll see on the internet and an actual true healthy keto.
Yeah.
That's why we really appreciate Dr. Berg and his work, because he's very specific.
He might be more zealous than her.
Oh, he definitely is. But he draws out the importance of not just eating a bunch of processed things that have the right amount of proteins, fats, and carbs, but actually eating healthy, nutrient-dense foods.
Unprocessed
in
foods.
those categories, yeah.
So when you go to the big box store and you buy that box with all the bars in it and it says keto bars, you know, maybe you need to get those if you have to, you know, eat lunch.
Eat on the run.
Yeah, eat lunch on the go or something like that. So it's not a bad thing to have things like that. But it wouldn't be very good for that to be your daily, a daily meal.
Right.
To have something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to try to avoid that if you can. And so really that's keto diet simplified.
Mm-hmm.
Is that for every meal you have a certain amount of grams for each one of those 3 things. So you got fats, proteins, and carbs. So a certain amount, and that's a real challenge to do that. So first, just start with intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
And start with trying to eat as much unprocessed food as possible.
Yeah. Lots of salads, lots of cooked vegetables, healthy meats, grass-fed beef, pastured chicken,
Yeah.
eggs.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys, I've been in the 180s has been my weight. I've fluctuated between like 180 to 188, let's just say.
For like our whole married life.
Yeah, for like 25 years. So that's a long time.
Right.
And now I'm at about 152, 153.
And dropping.
Yeah.
So he's at a place where now he has lost as much weight as he really needs to lose. And so he'll be building more muscle mass now. He may actually gain a little bit of weight as he gains more muscle mass from more energy and strength from his body healing and
Yes.
being fueled with what it needs. Yeah.
Oh, we need to back up. I'm sorry. Backwards. I did a cleanse.
Right.
That was a big part of this. I finished that cleanse about a week ago, week and a half ago. It was a 15-day Candida cleanse, or yeast cleanse. So I found out through that cleanse that I had an overgrowth of Candida in my body, or yeast. And that was one of the huge things that was driving those cravings I had.
Right.
Because Candida feeds mostly on sugars,
Carbohydrates.
and carbs.
Yeah.
So when I reduced those significantly, those cravings started dropping drastically. So then I realized, okay, those cravings are coming from something, and through our research and time, we realized that it was Candida. So I did a Candida cleanse. That was awful, you guys. Like, for me, it was an awful experience. Literally the first 2 days, I was down, like as if I had cold flu kind of thing. And after that, just a lot of weakness, you know, a lot of weakness. I'm still working on building back my strength and stamina from the cleanse and from figuring out portions on this diet. Yeah, so you might find in your journey that you need to do a specific cleanse for some kind of parasite, which I would say Candida is a type of parasite.
Yeah, if it takes over, it's no good for the body.
That's right.
Yeah. So definitely encourage any of you who are kind of feeling similar to what Kip was saying, that he just felt sluggish all the time. Look into this intermittent fasting. It won't cost you a thing, but do start very slow. Just a little step at a time. Give your body time to heal. The healing process can be very miserable if you go too fast. So just little steps. Take your time.
That's right.
All right, so before we close this out, I just want to ask one more question, love. What does it look like for you now going forward in this journey?
Yeah, for me going forward, I'm going to continue the intermittent fasting and also continue on. Now, we haven't gone healthy keto
100%.
on our diet. So my diet has been keto leaning.
Right.
Right?
Trying to get more healthy fats and less carbs.
Yeah.
And it takes time. Most Americans eat a lot of carbs, and it's like no fat, low fat. So it's the opposite of what most people see in a diet.
That's right. Guys, the no-fat yogurt and the no-fat milk in the stores, you guys, I have not put my hand, not even my finger, and I do all the buying for our family, all the grocery shopping. I've not even put my finger on one of those in years.
Right.
Because they have lied to us. They, the people, you know, have lied to us about that. So, just so you know. So going forward, yep, we're going to stay on the intermittent fasting and try to get as healthy keto as possible without stressing about it. Ooh, that's another thing.
Yeah.
Don't stress about this stuff. If you do, it's going to be counterproductive, kind of.
Right. Stress is one of the worst things for your health. So relax.
Yeah.
Enjoy your life.
That's right.
All right, guys. Well, hope you were blessed by Kip sharing his journey and just opening up. Probably a lot of you have questions galore. So We will leave as many links as we can down below. Check them out if you want more information. We pray blessings over you and yours.
And whatever you do, do it with your whole heart. This diet has actually caused me a problem.
What's that, love?
I actually need new pants.
Ah. Wow, look at that. Where did it all go?
See my belt? I'm out of holes
Yep.
in my pants. I've got to fold and crinkle my pants. I've got to fold and crinkle my pants to get them to stay.
Right. And those are pants that would have fit you almost tight before, huh?
Well, no, they didn't barely fit me. They were too tight before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great. And you've had to just basically get rid of a bunch of pants that were too big on you before, and now, yeah, not even with a belt you can't get them to work.
No, I have to fold the pants too much.
Yeah, too many folds.
That's right.
Yeah.